All right, today we're diving into the story of a rapper whose rise was just meteoric, as fast as a bullet, but his career came to a screeching halt almost just as fast. This is the story of Pooh Shiesty. And really, his whole story kind of comes down to this one central question. How does a rapper's reality, the very thing that makes their music feel so real, so authentic, end up being the very thing that shapes their destiny? Keep that in mind because it's the key to understanding everything that's about to happen. Look, to really get the stakes here, you have to understand just how big he got. Right out of the gate, his debut project, Shiesty Season, boom, lands in the top 5 on the Billboard 200. I mean, for a brand new artist, that's just a massive, massive achievement.
But to get the full picture, we've got to rewind. We have to start where he started, in the city that really made him who he is.
So, Pooh Shiesty, his real name is Lontrell Donnell Williams Jr. He comes from Memphis, Tennessee. And if you know anything about hip-hop, you know Memphis has this legacy. It's raw, it's aggressive. That whole environment isn't just his hometown, it's literally in the DNA of his music. And this quote right here, it just nails it. His music doesn't tell imagined stories. It reflects real experiences, pressure, and survival. That authenticity, that realness, that became his signature, and it's exactly why so many people felt what he was saying. And, you know, when you have that kind of authenticity, people start talking. And not just in Memphis. It actually caught the ear of a hip-hop legend. And that cosign, well, that was the moment everything changed. It turned that local buzz into a national spotlight.
The timeline of his rise is just staggering. I mean, think about this for a second. He starts getting some local buzz in 2018. Just 2 years later, he's signed by Gucci Mane's 1017 Records. He drops the monster hit Back in Blood. And then by early 2021, his whole debut project is out. It wasn't a climb, it was a rocket launch.
And if you had to pinpoint the one single moment of liftoff, it was this track. Back in Blood with Lil Durk wasn't just a hit song, it was the rocket fuel. It became a cultural moment that made him a household name. And it felt like it happened overnight. So this brings us to the absolute peak of his success. This is the moment when all that work, all that hype, it all came together right there on the charts. And this right here really shows you that peak. Shiesty Season, hitting the top 5, that wasn't just a win, you know? It was a major statement. It solidified his spot as this huge new force in hip-hop. At this point, it wasn't even a debate. The consensus was clear. Pooh Shiesty wasn't just another new rapper. He was seen as one of the strongest, most important new voices in street rap, pretty much carrying the torch for that classic Memphis sound. But you know how these stories can go. Right at the absolute summit, everything changed. This is the point where his incredible success collided head-on with some very, very serious setbacks. And the shift gave everybody whiplash. He was at the height of his fame, he had all the momentum in the world. And then, just like that, everything changed. And this is really the core conflict of his story. You've got these two paths running at the exact same time. On one side, you have this amazing musical success, Billboard hits, a top 5 album, a household name. And on the other side, the legal troubles that just cast a shadow over everything, grinding his career to a halt and making his future completely uncertain. There's a line that just perfectly sums this all up. It's a story as old as hip-hop itself, where talent opens doors, but decisions determine longevity. It's a harsh lesson for sure, but it's a true one. So where does that leave us now? Okay, his career might be on pause, but his story is definitely not over. Let's talk about the impact he's already made and the lessons we can take from his journey so far. Because here's the thing. Despite everything that's happened, his impact is undeniable. His music still connects with people because of that raw honesty. He represents a whole generation of artists speaking about their environment. And his journey, well, it's a powerful lesson about ambition, success, and consequences. It's a story that feels undeniably real. And that really brings us to our final thought here. When you look at the story of Pooh Shiesty, what do you see? Is it a warning about the pitfalls that come with fame and street life? Or is it a motivation, showing just how far raw talent and authenticity can take you? You know, maybe it's both.